What's up, everybody? It is Thegoal60 here for Monday, April the 30th, 2018. So yesterday could have went a lot better for us, but it also could have went a lot worse. So all in all, I think we had a good day considered what was the possibilities, and we'll look to jump right back into it and move forward today. So if you watched the vlog any this weekend, you know that yesterday we had the two plays, the Blue Jays and the Cardinals. Now the Blue Jays were heavy favorites all weekend long. They opened up around minus 150 on Friday when we started the weekend, and Saturday they went up a little bit further to around minus 170, and then yesterday they made it all the way up to minus 232 for us, and actually even went all the way up to minus 260 before the game started. So a crazy line move there. Sunday it opened at minus 190 to go all the way up to 260. That is by far the largest line movement that I've ever personally seen or can remember. So that is a big jump. They did get the win for us, so a lot of people were happy. I'm sure Vegas was not so happy because if they moved it that high, there was a lot of money coming in on Toronto. But either way, we get the 7-2 victory. Hap had a good game. He went deep into the game. The Texas Rangers pitcher only made it to the fourth, and in the fourth we had a chance. I believe we were up 4-1, and we had a really good chance of putting even more runs on the board, where we had bases loaded with one out, but just couldn't get anything else done. But either way, it was a slow and steady game, just like I had talked about yesterday. When I had been looking at the game from Saturday, we had scored 4 out of 5 of the last 5 innings. And yesterday was very similar. There was only a handful of innings where we didn't score runs. So it was very good, as far as being a consistent team that we had. We just had to get over the hump. Now, as far as the Cardinals game, I have no clue what they were doing. On Friday, if they could have just got those 3 outs in the bottom of the ninth, when they were up 5-2 instead of letting the Pirates come back and tie it up, we would have been a lot better situation this morning. All in all, not a bad week. We did kind of break even for the week, but if we'd have had that Cardinals win on Friday night, like I said, we'd have been up major. So I hate that. Obviously, I can't stand losing. It really bothers me, but we will move forward, and we've got to completely erase that from our brain. So let's look at today, and we'll get started. We've got 5 plays today, so quite a few. We also have some opportunity for tomorrow for more plays to open up, series that don't start until tomorrow. So let's get into the ones for today. We'll talk about the ones that didn't make it and why, and then we'll talk about the ones that did make it and where they stand. So 8 total series start off today that have 3 games in them, and 3 of them did not make it. The first one we'll talk about is Kansas City at Boston. Now this is pretty obvious. I knew the price was going to be skyrocketed because Boston is the top RPI team and Kansas City is in the bottom 3 of the RPI. So automatically, in it being at Boston, it was just a no-brainer as far as they were going to have a huge price. So currently, Kansas City is at .379 while Boston's at .583 on the RPI scale. So it was going to line up perfect for us. Everything was looking good. And then you look at the price, and it opened up around minus 215. And this morning, I actually seen it somewhere around minus 230. So it's way out of our range. We won't be touching it. The next game that didn't make it is actually Toronto and Minnesota. So this game, I was kind of hoping to actually take Toronto again because I was hoping that they would have some momentum from yesterday built back up. They got out of that slump they had, and I was hoping they would get going. The Twins we did have this weekend, and you know that they lost 2 out of 3 to the Reds. So you can kind of see those 2 teams going in opposite direction in my head. I don't know. They may not be. The Twins may come out and beat them by 15 runs today. But I was thinking that we would have some value with the swinging trends of the 2 teams. So Toronto was .498. Minnesota was .466, so it did line up good for us as far as taking us on the RPI scale. But then we look at price, and actually Toronto is a slight underdog. So you'd have to look at the run line, and the run line's price was up around minus 185 to minus 190, so way out of our scale. So we didn't get to take that. Moving on to the last one that did not make it was Colorado at Chicago. Colorado is 0.502, while Chicago is 0.543. So we look at taking the Cubs, and then we move over to price, and the price is once again way too high. It's at minus 170, closer to minus 175. It's moving that direction. So those are the 3 games that did not make this week. Now we'll talk about the 5 games that did. The first game we're going to talk about is a revenge play. So we had a revenge play on Friday with the Orioles, and they came through for us the very first day. Let's hope that it happens again today with the Giants. So San Diego is at the Giants. Currently, the Padres are at .474, and the Giants are at .510. We move over to price, and currently the price on the Giants is minus 154. So minus 154. We will be taking them. I know it's just slightly above that 150 mark, but it is in that range. So we will take the Giants minus 154 for a revenge play in the first play of this week. Next up, we have a divisional game. The Phillies travel down to the Marlins. So currently the Phillies are at .550 and the Marlins are at .497 on the RPI scale. So we obviously look at the Phillies. We move to price, and it's right in our wheelhouse. It's minus 142. So today we will take the Phillies at minus 142. They do have Jake Arrieta on the mound. He hasn't had that stellar of a season, but he's still a great pitcher, or a good pitcher at least. And so hopefully he'll have a good day today. The Marlins are playing pretty well. They took 2 out of 3 against the Rockies this weekend at home. So hopefully they can go back on the downside of things, and we can pick up a win with the Phillies. The next series that I'm going to talk about is very close as far as price, and I honestly believe if you wait a little bit later in the day, the public is going to jump on the opposite team, and I'll talk about that now. So the Brewers are at .498, while the Reds are at .437. So obviously we would look at the Brewers. Now this line opened up around minus 120 yesterday, and today it's minus 117. The Reds actually won 2 out of 3 against the Twins this weekend, while the Brewers actually had some trouble with the Cubs. They didn't, they had 2 or 3 games where they were very close in that series. I think that was a 4-game series, and the last couple days they lost by a run or 2 runs. It was a very close game. They just couldn't get over the hump and get the win against the Cubs. So hopefully they can turn that around against the Reds, and hopefully the Reds are going to trend back down to where they should be. So Milwaukee minus 117 is the play. Like I said, I honestly think if you wait a little bit, you can get this at a lot better price, because the public is going to look at those 2 series and follow that. They're going to go with the Reds, and all we need is 1 win out of this series. The 4th game for this week is the Rays at the Tigers. Now, obviously, right off the top, you guys know no Tigers. So the Rays are at .525, while the Tigers are at .405, and the Tigers are in the bottom 3 of the RPI scale. So we look at the Rays, we move to price, and it's really good. It's minus 120, so we need the Rays at minus 120 to get a win. The final play today is the Rangers at the Indians. So we pulled against the Rangers all weekend, and now we're going to be right there on their side, the biggest fans they have starting today. So the Rangers are at .496, while the Indians are at .484. So we are ahead in RPI. It's pretty close, but we will take it. So then we move to price, and the Rangers are actually an underdog. So we look at the run line. And the run line price is pretty good. It's minus 129. And so we're getting the Rangers plus 1.5 at minus 129. We'll take that. Hopefully they can keep their momentum going and get a win for us. The Indians do have a big pitcher coming up. Kluber will be in the 3rd game of this series. So keep that in mind if you like to look at pitchers and that's sort of your thing. Just have that in the back of your head during this series. Now, it's not a big deal to us as far as our system goes. And the reason I say that is just like last week. We had the A's against the Astros, and the Astros had Dallas Keuchel on the mound, and the A's come out and beat them 8-1. So it's not really that big a deal. In fact, obviously some of these players, these professional athletes will come out and play harder. I think they still have that competitive spirit, and they come out and play a little harder when they know somebody that they're a big underdog against. So we'll take it. We'll move forward. This should be a good week for us. I really hope that it is, and I believe that it is. So we'll move forward with this, and we'll come out on top at the end of the week on Sunday. So thanks for tuning in. Have a great day today, and I will see you tomorrow morning. Make sure to like and share this video, and obviously subscribe. See you tomorrow.
60% of the time, it works every time.